body positivity is important. It's very important, especially for young women, because today there are so many stigmas and pressures around looking perfect. And, you know, you have the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and you have all of these athletic wear ads that show these women that are like incredibly beautiful and incredibly thin and tall and perfect. And, you know, that's what you're supposed to look like. That's what you're supposed to want to look like. And I mean, and that's great because people look like that and they're beautiful and that's wonderful. But, and so you have like that aspect of there are people in social media and people in society and people in everywhere that are this ideal type kind of beauty and they look this way and that's wonderful. You can't bash people for the way that they look. And that's one aspect of body positivity is like accepting and encouraging the way that other people look. And that's super important because you don't want to like, just because, you know, if I'm like a size 12, I don't want to like bash other people for being a size 2 because they're a size 2. Like that's ridiculous. That's not body positive. Body positivity isn't just looking at yourself. It's looking at other people and being accepting of everybody. So that's one aspect. And the second aspect is that you have accepting yourself and learning to accept yourself and like loving your body and being positive about your body and understanding that like this, you know, all of this is just a vessel to do wonderful things in. And you need to love it because if you don't, you're not taking care of yourself, then like you can't do things that are more important than like fitting into those jeans you want to fit into or like, you know, contouring your face perfectly before you go out. Like that's, which is, you know, all fine and it's good, but there's another level. And the third part is that if you don't love your body and if you aren't okay with it, that's also okay. Because a lot of the time people say things like, I was processing earlier, but it's not entirely true. If you don't love your body, people say, if you don't love your body, if you don't love yourself, like how is anyone else going to love you? Like I think that's BS. I think that it's BS that if you don't love yourself, people can't love you. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous because I did not love myself for like a majority of my time in high school because, you know, it sucks. Like growing up sucks. Growing up like fat sucks. Growing up gay sucks. But like, and I didn't love myself a lot of the time, but I mean, I managed to make some of the best friends in my entire life in high school. And I think that you have to learn to love yourself and you have to grow and you have to understand who you are, but don't for 1 second think that because you don't love yourself in that one moment that you're not going to be loved. And I think those three aspects of body positivity in general, you know, if you have accepting of other people, accepting of yourself, and accepting yourself, not necessarily loving yourself 100% of the time, are three of like the most important elements of body positivity, right? Because you have to, it's not just a one-step process of waking up and saying body positive from this point on. It's an important concept to understand so you can exist and survive, because if you don't understand that, you're just, you know, it's a lot. It's like, it's too much.
So people as well as yourself have dubbed you a feminist. Could you please explain the role of feminism in creating gender equality in this country and destroying the so-called patriarchy?
Okay, so I think that it's hard because I'm sure there are so many people that, you know, initially when they hear the word feminism, immediately they like, oh, I'm not a feminist because I don't think that women are better than men. I'm not a feminist because, you know, like all that crap that people say that why they're not a feminist because of stuff that's not true about feminism. You know, if you look at feminism, it's like equality between the genders, and it's not about the fact that women are better than men. It's about the fact that women have lived in oppression for much, 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 much longer at the hand of men and society. So feminism is important in bringing about gender equality because it is about gender equality. It's not about women rising above men in any way. It's not about one gender versus the other. It's women trying to get some footing, you know, because it's really hard. It's really hard to like say that, you know, I feel completely comfortable like walking into a room like full of men and like saying my ideas, like the fact that that's still a problem for me, or the fact that like yesterday at Target, like literally yesterday, a guy came up to me and like asked me if I went to PCC and like wouldn't stop following me on Target because he like wanted to talk to me and like wouldn't respect me like saying like I can't do this. Like I'm like no, like that's still a problem because if it was the other way around, like that wouldn't be happening. So it's not that I'm saying, you know, we're destroying the patriarchy in like a malicious sense of like men need to be like taken down a notch. Like that's where the whole feminism like debate, you know, people saying I'm not a feminist because of this. It's just people have to understand, people have to like say they're feminist and act in such a way that's not like an angry, malicious way towards other people. We're working together. Because, you know, if we're being angry and mean and saying, oh, we're gonna like smash you and just like you're done, like then no one's gonna want to be like wanting to work with you. You have to. It's a team effort, you know. We're all in this together. We're all like on this planet, not really knowing what's going on together, just kind of like trying to figure it out. So you've gotta. It's teamwork. It's all teamwork, you know. We gotta work together.
Do you think the feminist movement is one of the most important movements in this country?
In important movements, like presently, like right now, or like in currently? Yeah, I think that it definitely is one of the most important movements. I think that there are. I don't think it is the most important. I think that it's, you know, because there's so much going on right now with, you know, you have this whole like police brutality stuff that's going on, and you have immigration, and you have like so much just like hurt that's going on in this country that it's uncomparable. You know, you're not gonna compare like a feminist movement to like the Black Lives Matter movement because it's all completely different. So I don't want to say that feminism is the most important thing that's happening in this world and in this country, but I think that, you know, it's something that needs to be talked about, and it's something that needs to be worked on, and something that needs to be addressed for the sake of, you know, all of the girls that live here and all of the girls that don't feel like they're worth it because of the way that they're treated, you know, in society, especially in like America, where all we do is like advertise and we consume, and we have, you know, already we're like a country of like ideals, and if you don't fit that, you know, it's really hard to feel like everything is worth it. So I think that yeah, it's definitely a very important movement, and I mean, I'm behind it 100%.
In some cases, feminism has been given a bad name because a lot of people believe that's all it is women hating men. How do you defend that?
I think that I'm not going to say that like there are people who are feminists who like don't hate men, because you know, people have different experiences. There are feminists that do hate men because they have had terrible, terrible, terrible experiences with men, and I think that's perfectly valid. But I think that you can't judge an entire group of people based off of someone's single experience. And, you know, if you don't want to associate with feminists because of a name, then, like, that's your problem. And you're missing out on a community that could very well bring about a very positive change in the world. And if you don't want to be a part of that because of like some prejudice against them, because, you know, you don't, oh, like they're like only hating men and they all like don't shave their armpits and don't shave their legs and like don't wear bras and they're all lesbians, like I don't want to be a part of that because that's like stupid. Like, great, like, you know, good for you, like no one cares. Like, I mean, sure, you're missing out on like a bunch of people who maybe don't shave their legs and don't shave their armpits and are lesbians, but they're probably great people and have a lot of wonderful ideas about how to change the world. So like, you know, if you want to think that and you're going to accept that as a truth and not actually get to know some people who are feminists and actually talk to some people who are feminists about what they're about, that's your loss. And like, you know, like screw it, like whatever, fine, we don't want you to be a part of this anyway. If you're just going to like walk around and say, oh, I don't want to be a part of that because I don't know anything about it, like see you later, like fine, whatever, see ya.